God bless. Okay, I'm trying to, I did a video test earlier, and the light through that window was causing trauma. So I rotated my business a bit to see if this one works any better. Someone said I should keep the apple. Someone thought I should remove it. But I can do both. I can keep it and remove it. So I can take this out of my face. I'm not able to get as far away. Am I further away? I guess I can go back a little bit. This is a nightmare. But it's my nightmare. I can, when I get my boxes full of stuff I needed for my taxes put away, and put the books that are on the floor away, and move a few things away, I think I'll be fine. But this is what I get to see every day. Aren't I lucky? I'd like to think I am. I also found a microphone stand that could be used to hold the contraption that's holding the iPad, which will make it be a little bit better. I also could, I suppose, find some blanket to cover that light, cover the window a little bit, so not so much light comes through. Are these things going to be bothering me as I talk about pens with Hemingway Jones on Friday? Maybe. Do I need to clean my glasses because I can't see through them? My little brother once pulled the glasses off my head and said, "My God, Pierre, your glasses are so dirty. It's like looking through the bottom of a mayonnaise jar." Yep, that's about right. This eye doesn't work very much at all. If I lost this eye, I could navigate fine with this eye, but everything is slightly crooked, and right at the middle, right where I'm looking, if I was trying to read a sentence on the page, right in the middle is the straight line is crooked, but there's a little dip. So that's a problem when you're trying to type on your phone's keyboard or you're trying to draw a picture. It can get in your way. So that can suck. You're getting sleepy. except the little propeller thing keeps hitting my nose, waking me up. Here we go. Now I'm getting sleepy. It's so funny. I see it going in the opposite direction. You know, what my eye sees in real life is opposite of what I see here because it's not a mirror image I'm looking at. I'm looking at what you would see if you were sitting there. If I was looking in a mirror here, I would see this happen. The apple in front of my eyes and the reflected apple. But that's not what I see. The magic of optics. So what are these things? This is a really delightful, I think, this was a drawer pull, if I remember correctly, or maybe a light switch button. This is a fan from some sort of computer or, I don't know, some anti-ballistic missile. This is a fake apple. This is a really cool thermometer that you would hang presumably outside. I've got 2 of these so I can make a pair of earrings if I wanted to. What else do I have here? I have a little G.I. Joe outfit for an astronaut with a real functioning zipper. Oh yeah, Neil Armstrong, show me your pecs. Zip that right back. What else do I have here? A couple of pairs of glasses that are equally mayonnaise jar-like. I'll put this molecular model back in its little slinky toy here. This thing behind me, this thing here, is what I call a flustercuck. I described it more accurately maybe as a cluster F, and that's how I named it on my YouTube. And a woman wrote me a very nasty note saying, "How dare I use that word? My daughter found your video." Well, she must have had to. The only word that I used was my fluster blank. So she must have been looking for me. She must have known that word in advance. What she was hoping to find there, I do not know. But that wasn't my problem, was it? So anyway, I now refer to it as my flustercuck. And that's in fact what it is. In fact, my entire house is a combination of debris placed in some sort of arrangement that makes me happy. It's feng shui run amok. It's ikebana with pieces of metal, not beautiful flowers. There's a little bit of bonsai well, I don't want to say, it's like when Japanese women would have their feet bound and where they remained tiny or like a tree is bound with wires to make it not grow. My house is kind of like that. I feel sometimes that everything's closing in on me, claustrophobic. But I like it. I like the warmth and the coziness of being surrounded by a bunch of really cool things that you arrange in a really cool way. And it's cool, except when you want to get something that's you can see from where you're sitting. But in order to get there, you have to move about 10 things to be able to make a path for you to go to the place where you want to go to get the thing you want. And that's the problem. If I would, in fact, put things back where they do belong, that might help. But almost everything in my house is almost at least 2 layers deep. In order to get that book in the bookshelf, I have to move something to get to the bookshelf. It might just be a box of cardboard on the floor that I'm going to be using to make some art. It might be a bicycle pump that's on the floor. It might be recycling I'm taking out to the trash, to the recycling rather, but I haven't done it yet. So, but anyway, I think that what I will do for this thing on Friday is to cover part of that window so it's not so bright. But I really do like the richness of the background, and even the things that are moving. Why not? Is this too distracting? Write your answers below. Would you be able to take me seriously if this thing kept on bouncing up and down next to me? Think of it like the arm of a grandfather clock, the pendulum of a grandfather clock, ticking in the background. Maybe that'll make it feel at home and equally warm and cozy. I'm trying to reprint a job for a client of mine today. I ordered a bunch of paper and did not realize that one side was pebbly. Well, I knew one side was pebbly. I thought the other side was pebbly too. It's a watercolor paper that I buy in bulk because it has a nice texture to it and I can put it through my printer. And I didn't realize that the obverse was pebbly, but the reverse was smoother. And so I have to reprint the ones that were printed on the wrong side. I don't hear my printer printing, so maybe it needs more food. Maybe it's printed the number that I told it to print. The piece of paper that I'm buying is 19 by 28 inches or something like that, and I cut it down to one dimension of the particular thing I'm printing. The thing I'm printing right now is a 5.5 by 4.25 RSVP card. So I cut the strip to be 18 inches long by 5.5 wide. And then I print 4 of them on this thing and then have to cut them again. So there's lots of labor involved in this, and I could, I suppose, find a professional printer to do the work. But the clients suggested that I can do it, so that's what I'm doing. Does this Flustercuck make me look fat? It makes me look like a nut case, I suppose, but if the shoe fits. What else can I tell you about? Next to me over here is a Victrola Sonora. This is the sound comes out of here. And right now it has a mannequin sitting on top of it with a fez. Over here, above those, are 2 of the diploma portraits I draw. I take a perfectly good vintage diploma and create a face that out of it I see faces and things. That's fun. See, way up on top you see other things. Here's the thing right there, that thing. That's a Memento Mori framed sort of wreath that is encircling a little oval handwritten name and dates. And the wreath is made of that person's human hair, woven and crocheted, not crocheted, well, crocheted perhaps, somehow woven and braided to make these flowers and leaves. And they're tied with a bow, an actual bow, not human hair bow. Below that is this, and that's a some German house and some sort of German saying like, "You're welcome to my house." And they would have that on the wall in the little German house. Holde Freude Schluss, Eintracht, Welt freundlich unter diesem Dach. Oh, it's so cute. There's little cupids. A little cupid is looking out of the window. And above, over here, little paper birds. The window shades are in poor perspective. There's actually some ferns and dried flowers, I suppose. It's kind of creepy. Probably not as creepy as the human hair. Let's just get that. I do have some watch fobs, watch chains made of human hair. Margareta Kraus 1853 to 1876. And her human hair is woven into this wreath. I have some pretty creepy things in my house. I don't. I'm not ashamed of it. I don't feel I have to apologize for such a thing. That's just what I have, and that's what I like. And I may not love it, but I like it enough to keep it. Does it spark joy? That's hard to say. I don't know whether anything sparks joy with me these days, but I enjoy the look of it. Some things that might spark joy is my electrical system. I have I don't know how many lights are connected with this Flustercuck. And there's iPad chargers, iPhone chargers, there's LED lights, there's all sorts of things that are plugged into probably 3 power strips. And they're connected with a extension cord that goes to another huge power strip that feeds other things, that eventually goes to one outlet in my house. So if they see your place as a hoard, they might lack imagination. If they see it as a hoard of fascinating things, they might be worth knowing. Yeah, it is true. There are people that come here for open studios, people that I don't know. They like my art. And I said, well, let me show you what my studio looks like. And they come in here and they are amazed. Everyone's amazed. Some just smile. They beam with what they see, about what they see. They're really, really enjoying it. Some might say, I need to go back out in the hall because this is claustrophobic. And it is. And to be fair to me, maybe, she was here along with 6 other people. And we were crammed into a room that maybe holds 2 people, 3 people comfortably. And we were all looking at pens, and we were sort of trying to get close to the pens, and there was a crush, and she had to go outside in the hall. Now, whether she's out of therapy yet, I don't know. She might still be in therapy. That's usually a warning I give to anyone that comes into my house. Have you had your tetanus shot? And then they say it's fine, and I say okay. And then as I leave, I say, well, let me know how therapy goes. Why I was attracted to a given object. Well, I am a collector. Think of me as having the brain of a magpie. Are those the ones that like shiny objects? I can't help but want something. And my mother would say, why can't you just look at it and like it? Why do you have to own it? Why do you have to have it? Why do you need 3,000 fountain pens? Why do you need 2 dozen fezzes? Why do you need yet another Encyclopedia Britannica 11th edition? But I can probably say why it is I like any single given thing. The 11th edition of the Britannica, you ask, why do I like that? Well, it was at the time, it was the most expensive one to produce. They got the best authors, and they did produce in 1911, when it came out, this magnificent set of books that contained the knowledge of the world. Now, within just a few short years, they had to change a heck of a lot because of World War I. There were lots of new facts to consider. But that's why I like that particular book. Why do I like? What else can I? Why do I like this? Well, what's not to like about these big rubber balls? I don't know what they're for. I don't know anything about what they're for. I don't think they're some sort of weird sex toy. I think maybe they were, I don't know. But there they were. And out came my checkbook. What else do I have here? I like construction toys. They've got lots of erector sets, and I actually make things out of erector sets and sell them. I like architecture toys, building blocks. I don't like Legos, never have, probably never will. But I have many sets of Anchor building blocks. They were made in Germany in 1890s, and they're beautiful little stone building blocks. And I have, I don't know, 10 sets of them maybe. Some are slightly different scale than others. The sets usually came in the same size blocks, except you could get a big set that had lots of blocks, or you could get a small set that has fewer blocks. And some sets I own look like the poor, I'm assuming, little boy that got this under the Tannenbaum at Christmas. The day after Christmas, he was run over by a streetcar, or whatever you would be run over by in Germany in 1890, because they were never taken out of the box. The edges are crisp. They're stone building blocks. They're made of sort of recast stone. So they're not carved out of blocks of stone. They're like cement, I guess. Fine grained cement that was molded into these blocks. And the blocks come in 3 colors: blue, red, and white, or sort of a beige color. And these had their sharp edges on them. There's another set I bought from a antique dealer where the person that got his set under the Christmas tree never stopped playing with them. It was almost like he put them in the rock tumbler, because everything is rounded off and warm to the touch. They're very, they just have this beautiful quality to them that the brand new ones don't have. anchor building blocks. Come in. Hold on. Come in. Keep your pants on. Why don't you sit right there? You can manage. My neighbor came back from 2 months in Argentina.
Hello, folks. Not sure what's going on here.
These are mainly people that I know that talk about pens.
Oh,
So I'm going to be interviewed by another guy that talks about pens on Friday, and I'm just testing out the lighting. Normally, when I broadcast, the camera's looking down at the table, and all you see is my hand and my pens and what I write. He's giving me this very funny look.
I like the lighting.
It's so cute. I love the lighting.
Yeah. How do we feel about the backdrop? There's a hot spot a little bit. Can we dumb this down over here? See this hot spot? Do we like that, or is it? Let's go bigger screen. Can we?
No, let's leave it here. But
Okay.
now if you lean back, see there was more of a hot spot that way with the white light. And I don't mind the hot spot. I kind of like it.
Well, I have a dimmer you can use if you want. A plug-in inline dimmer.
Dimmer.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's just turn it off here.
I like a little glow light there.
Yeah, the glow is nice. Anyway, I can figure that out.
I can dim it down.
So anyway, how was Argentina?
How's the sound?
They said it was fine.
Do we have guests right now?
There's one person watching, Glenn.
Hello, friend. Who is it?
Someone named Glenn Kelly.
Hey, Glenn. Just knocking on my neighbor's door, looking to see.
Pounding on it.
Have a coffee.
Thank you. So how was your?
Take some coffee.
No, thank you. How was your trip to Argentina?
Yeah, I went to Argentina for 2 weeks and I stayed for 6. Yeah.
I knew that it was more than 2 weeks.
Yeah. So that.
Glenn says hi. Fernando here. Fernando is the guy on the Dos Equis commercial, that the coolest guy in the world?
Yes.
That's him.
No, actually they called him the most interesting man in the world. Can I tell you something?
Well,
people started calling me that.
Yeah.
30 years before that ad campaign.
Okay.
My father called me that as a teenager.
Okay, well, I'm trying to do the math just to make sure you're not lying, because
I'm 50.
Well, I know, but as a teenager plus 40, and whenever that commercial came out. Anyway, I think the math has to be fixed, but we can
20
do
years before.
20 years, okay.
Let's call it 20.
Call it 20
We'll look
years.
it up,
We can look it up.
We'll go
Anyway,
to Saki and Saki.
Before
I'd like to see
further.
I'd like to see something like sinisterly dangerous over your head. That would be fun.
The broader blades here aren't enough.
I mean, that's good, but something that could like slip and.
Well, how about my big paper anvil looks real?
That's perfect.
Now, I only have sort of, there's not, if you look at it now, that's sort of the space he wants. So I don't know if you'd see it. Anyway, Fernando is, he runs a gin operation, not out of his bathtub, but he makes magnificent gin called Tuck Gin. And he's a yachtsman and an expert in and collector of Citroën, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Cars, not just any car, the DS.
Very good, Pierre.
See, I'm remembering.
You're paying attention.
I'm paying attention. And what else? Among other things, what do you do? The gin is keeping you financially okay?
No,
Or
I
no?
don't make money off
You don't make
protection.
money.
No,
It's
we're a startup.
It's a service that you're
We're a startup.
providing.
We are looking for investment.
Okay, here you
To-
go.
to,
My 6 viewers will
yeah.
can do that. It's very good gin. And can you talk about a little bit about your gin tea,
The journey?
the gin tea, the tea?
Oh, the tea and
the
gin.
tea.
Well, I
the
should
tea-
tell you, so just so that there's a sort of a deeper understanding, is that it's our formulation really that I think is interesting and what you can taste in the product.
Okay,
You know?
you can look this way if you'd like.
Okay. Well, I look at both of you.
Well, you can go back and forth like you're
So
talking to three
no,
of
it's
us
the
at-
product. I was at the right place at the right time when I met my business partner, who
Mhm.
had developed over the course of some time in his basement, and through trial and error, came up with this unique formulation in which we take the individual botanicals, the things
Yeah.
that make gin. Gin is juniper and some other flavorings. The majority of which has to be juniper.
Yeah.
So that's what makes gin. So he was doing that, and he was putting all the herbs and spices, if you will, together at the same time and always getting a different result. So he decided he would take really good, high quality
botanicals.
and individually distill them so that he could just get the purest form of each one without having to sacrifice, because he was about to burn the other.
I see.
know,
And then
have some of that.
so they're all in big vats somewhere.
They're all in big vats. It's
And
all
then-
done independently. It takes a huge amount of time. It's about 90 days at least to get into customers' hands, at least from when the day that we start to make it. But that's
And then
it's a long process. Let's say.
each amount of plant X is exactly measured to go
Yeah.
into each
Uh,
bottle.
No, it's all done by taste, because
Okay.
each batch might be a little bit
A
different.
little bit different. So,
I mean of each botanical, but we haven't seen any bottle variation
okay, good.
between the runs, the production runs.
So there are two different kinds
So-
of gin you make generally.
Yeah. So just to back up,
Yeah,
we're
sorry.
the only brand in the United States doing this. We're the only brand. We're one of two brands in the world that do this. The other one's called Archie Rose. They're in Australia. They make a delicious gin. They individually distill the botanicals. So we think we're.
You've
from
got
what we
this
understand,
hemisphere.
Maybe.
You will.
So we think that's really distinctive, and what you can really taste it. It's luscious. It's really
Yeah,
fresh.
I've had
It's got a healthy
more than-
mouthfeel.
more than enough on many occasions, so I like it.
Yeah. Anyway, here, maybe we should have the two of us in here. Is that
I don't know if
possible?
that's okay without me getting on my
Go
lap.
like this.
We could be like that. We could be
Go
like
like
that.
this. Let's go like
Yeah,
this.
we can be like that. We can like we're telling secrets. So
You know they do in stage theater when the background.
they do that. They-
Yeah, and you know what they say?
What?
Peas and carrots. Peas and carrots. Peas and carrots. Peas and carrots. Peas and carrots.
Oh, carrots and peas. Carrots and
Peas and
peas.
carrots.
Peas and pears. Anyway, I love
Beets-
this thing.
Beets and parrots.
I like this little
Beets and parrots, ladies and gentlemen.
slinky toy going up and down, the spider sitting down beside her. Why don't we? I'm essentially done with this. So, Glenn, nice to have you here, and nice to everyone else who might have been watching or will watch.
Glenn, if you're awake, Glenn, we bid you adieu.
Adieu. And